The last time you were on Hearts and Minds, Sir Reg, you were talking about your rapprochement with the TUV, and you talked about the importance that all you wanted to do was maximise the unionist vote. Now, if you're part of a Conservative party which wants to stand in every constituency in the United Kingdom, including ones that there's talk about a unionist pact over, Fermanagh, South Tyrone and Belfast, South Belfast. Now, what's going to happen to that possibility? Aren't you in danger of actually splitting the unionist vote rather than maximising?
No. First of all, let's be very clear. How you maximise the unionist vote, and that's what I want to do. And I'm prepared to talk to like-minded people about doing that. There's a range of ways in which it can be done. First of all, if we take what's currently being bandied about Fermanagh, South Tyrone and South Belfast. I mean, in 2001, when Ken McGuinness, who had served in Fermanagh for 18 years, stood down, the DUP supported an independent unionist candidate who got 6,800 votes, and we lost it by 57
but let's
votes.
talk about the future.
Yes, but I'm sorry, you can't isolate the two things. And similarly in South Belfast, we held that seat for many years. We stood, and any party who holds a parliamentary seat is going to stand for it. We were challenged there again, and that lost the seat to the SDLP. So simply having a single candidate doesn't guarantee that you win the seat, because if you turn it into a sectarian headcount, then that can come into play, because nationalism can respond by only having one candidate as well. So we have to look at a wide variety of possibilities as to how we can actually address that. The other thing that we are looking at...
So there would be a possibility that you would get some kind of agreement with Conservative Central Office that they wouldn't stand in a number of constituencies.
We are not starting off from the point of view of saying that we're not going to stand in seats. What party does that? We want to offer the maximum opportunity for people to have a choice. Now, the other thing that people have to understand, what we're at here is trying to gain the support of maybe 350 MPs who become unionist and pro-union in Parliament, and having that linkage so that, in fact, we end the isolation of unionism because we become part of a mainstream able to deal with the issues that people are currently worried about today, which they haven't had the opportunity
Well, for
before.
example, David Cameron has spent the last 3 weeks lambasting the government for its economic initiatives to try and get us out of this recession. So would you be alongside David Cameron saying, no, we don't want any innovation, we don't want any economic stimulation in Northern Ireland or anywhere else?
He hasn't said that. But if you ask me, would I have chosen to rely upon reducing VAT by 2.5% as the main mover for an economic revival? No, for the simple reason that means you have to spend £400 to save £10. Now, I would have concentrated my fire by removing VAT from heating bills for domestic premises. I would have increased the winter fuel payment. I would have concentrated the resources on the individuals and businesses, which are, by imposing national insurance charges, you're taxing jobs. Now, I wouldn't have done that. I think they've missed the opportunity there. So it's not true that he's suggesting doing nothing. But equally, if you look at the debt we're racking up as a society, you and I and our children are going to have to pay for that debt, no. So I would say to you this, that I think the VAT option was the wrong option. The French, I listened to their finance minister speaking, and she was very critical of that and pointed out exactly the flaws in it. So I don't accept that that was the best solution, certainly for Northern Ireland.
Let's take an issue that's arisen this week. Maria Gatland, who's had to resign from Croydon Council over her 1970s membership of the IRA. Now, you sit in a government which has former IRA members in it. What would you have done there?
Well, I think they've taken the right action. I mean, this person apparently didn't disclose to them in advance when...
She didn't hide it. She's written a book.
Aye, but under another name, under her maiden name. So people, they were...
With a photograph on it.
They were unaware that she was a member of the former member of the Provisional IRA. I think they've taken the right action, and...
you don't see any double standards in your half, that you're sitting in a government with people who are self-confessed former members of the IRA, and yet you agree with this woman having to retire 30 years after she abandoned it.
We know who these people are in the Northern Ireland government. The issue there was that no disclosure was made to them as to what her history had been. So I think that, look, to be perfectly honest, it is 35 years ago. It was a regrettable incident, but we've got to look for the future, and we're trying to plan for the long term.
All right, Sir Reg, thank you very much indeed.